We literally
Wow.
turned an opportunity into
Wow.
something amazing because that was chaos.
Hmm.
We were like, we're tired. We're tired of the lack of integrity of people. We're tired of the lack
Right.
of integrity in business. We are tired of trying to use and look, men. I know men get used
Hmm.
just as much. So please understand, I'm just speaking right now from a woman's point of view. It's nothing
Hmm.
against the men, but as a woman, we were tired of being used
Yes.
because that
Yeah.
literally was someone trying to scam someone else off the back of us, and that's not who we are.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So
Some
high
people feel
up.
stuck in that
I'm so
position. They feel like,
deja vu. I've been here before. Say come back down to earth. Resist the urge. Still no break. Only score. Live time. Even more. Go for broke. Bust more. Read it all. On the floor. On the floor. Go for broke. Bust more. Leave it all. On the floor. On the floor.
welcome to another CTA Let's Dream Big podcast. I am your host, the interview expert and life coach, Mark Thompson, here with another banger of an episode. This series, we're talking about entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs, how to be in business, how to do it the right way, the wrong ways, whatever it takes, the trials and tribulations. And these are my guests that are in North Carolina, primarily in Durham and Raleigh. But I do have a special guest with me today. She's a near and great friend of mine. She has a lot of things going on her for today. But I want to introduce to you all today, my friend Porcelain Perkins. How you doing, Porcelain? I almost said it like Medea, Porcelain. Come on, Porcelain.
It wouldn't be the first time. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. I know you gave me a great overview, a good
Mhm.
something to talk about, but I said, I'm gonna let you talk about it because I want everybody to know Porcelain is a contracting officer with the Center for Disease and Control and Prevention. You have your Mills Consulting as an owner of Carolina Health Medical Transportation, CFO. She's also an owner of Salon Suites and a podcaster as well, GoHo, GOHO. We'll ask what that is later. Just want to let everybody know. She is from Rocky Mount, single mom of two. She started her government career right after college with the DOD and then moved to ATL to assist with the CDC and currently living in North Carolina where she's created business opportunities for herself. Porcelain. Her resume is long. It's beautiful. We're going to dig right into it today, man. We're going to dig into it to you, your beautiful life, your journey, your ups and downs and trials and tribulations. I hope you're ready.
I am, and it was definitely a journey.
Good,
Needless to say,
good.
it would definitely make for interesting talk, but I'm happy to be here, and I hope whatever it is that we discuss or unravel, it just gives hope and inspiration to anyone out there that may be kind of stuck in the place that they are. So let's get to it.
Amen. Amen. So I know you, people that may be on here, some folks know you, but let's entertain and let the world know who Porcelain Mills is. Porcelain Perkins, sorry, old name.
I kept Mills. No, you're fine.
Okay.
I
You kept
did keep
Mills?
Mills,
Okay.
so I'm still Porcelain Mills.
Okay, we'll both of them. She's both now.
Yeah,
You know
both.
how that is.
My family,
We'll give you, man.
they say Porcelain
Got
Perkins,
you.
but legally it's still Mills. But I accept
Ah,
either one. So yes, a little bit about me. Such a wonderful
mhm,
introduction, but I am originally from Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
mhm,
I was born there. I was raised in multiple places just due to my mom's traveling. She had written a book. My father passed away, for those who know, when I was 7. And
mhm,
so my mom got thrust into becoming a widow and a single mom all at the same time and balancing that out. And I speak on it a lot because I actually just was invited to do an editorial piece for Canvas Rebel. And they asked me
mhm,
the same question. And they basically said, where did you get your drive from? And I
mm,
always say in that moment, to see my mom, and I know she's not the only one, but that was my experience, to become
mhm,
a widow and have me at the same time, trying to navigate her emotions, trying to navigate her business, and trying to
Mm.
navigate me all at the same time is where my character was built. My mom owned a business for over 60 years. It's called My Empress Ladies Boutique.
Wow.
It's in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. It is still the most longest standing business,
60
outgoing a lot
years?
of corporations and commercial companies that are there. They just celebrated her. She's done a lot for the community, and she did all of this with word of mouth. She didn't have,
Mm.
the fancy technology that we have, the marketing. And in this day, she doesn't understand Instagram or Facebook. She calls it the Facebook. But she has those old school values, and those old
Right.
school values is what she raised me off of. And if you look
Mm.
into what's happening today, a lot of that integrity and that old school values just doesn't exist. It is like,
Right.
do what you have to do, get where you have to get, go where you have to go at whatever means necessary. And even though that may hold weight in certain ways, you still should be able to do that with integrity. And a lot of times, integrity has gotten taken out. So
Mm-hmm.
my backbone of who I am now started in that moment, truly, when
Mm.
she lost her husband and I lost my father.
Mm.
Because I saw her
Wow.
turn pain into purpose. I saw her like just have this strength. And if I'm
Mm.
transparent, I still ache for my father to this day. And
Mm-hmm.
her being married to the love of her life and having me and trying to navigate that, I don't know if I could,
Right.
you know, if I could have done that, in that
Mm-hmm.
moment, I just don't know. And she still was a pivot in her community. Like her business was a safe space for her clientele. It just wasn't about
Mm.
fashion. It was healing. It was helping others. She healed people. She loved on them. They would come and just sit on her couch like she was the therapist.
Right.
And she did all of this honestly through fashion. Like that was just
Mm.
the opening door. And then it just became into something else that was just so much more beautiful. And I think honestly, growing up and looking at it from an adult perspective now, it was probably
Mm-hmm.
healing for her.
Right.
And
Right.
so with that, I mean, I just saw this woman just do her thing. And I'm over here a hot
Mm-hmm.
mess. And she just did her thing. And she did it with grace. She did it with
Mm-hmm.
integrity. She didn't lose who she was. She turned that strength into something very powerful that is just so loved and valued and appreciated and applauded till this day.
Man,
So that's
that's
where
I'm writing notes,
I
but I
know.
got legacy. Like you taking this 60 years. Now, I mean, you
Yes.
seen that, and one thing you said was pain into purpose, which I
Mm-hmm.
always talk about that in the entrepreneurial space is that you got to define your purpose. I don't care if you're doing a regular job as well, trying to get your career.
Mm-hmm.
Finding your purpose will help you succeed in even the hard process pieces of trying to be an entrepreneur. So your mom, like, it seems like combining that with community and something she has gifts with that serve the community gives her joy, which means, some of the stuff that she went through makes sense. She definitely had to take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is this. So my question for you is going from
Mm-hmm.
that, like, what did you pull away? I mean, like, I know right now I wrote down some things and understanding that now you got to find your own purpose. I mean, because this seems like some big shoes to fill for a 60-year business. What are you pulling from what your mom's journey is to say, I am taking that entrepreneurial spirit and building my legacy now?
So here's the thing about that, because that is always the question for people. However,
Mm,
my mom was really great in loving me for me, right? And loving in
mm,
what I wanted to do. Yes, she created this legacy. Now, you think my mom is amazing. My dad was best friends with Martin Luther King. There was a 13-year age gap between my mom and my dad. I have
wow.
pictures of him, and I also actually send them to you with him with Nelson Mandela. Like he was a
Hmm.
philanthropist. He was in the community. He was out there fighting for our rights. Malcolm X, Jesse Jackson. My dad was that man in the community,
Wow.
and so people talk about these big shoes, but they really were good at being who they were and
Mm-hmm.
showing me what that looks like and if I wanted that. But they were also good
Mm.
in loving me for whoever I was to flourish to become. And that
Right.
necessarily may not mean I was going to become this activist like my father, or I was going to become this businesswoman like my
Mm-hmm.
mom. They just loved me and provided a safe space for me to become who I am. And the foundation of my household was built on God. So she said, I need you to understand that. I don't need you to always trust in me. I don't need you to always think that I'm your safe space. I am. But at the end of the day, life isn't always going to be you and I. You're going to have to fly on your own,
Right.
and you need to understand how to become that person. I was a vessel that
Mm-hmm.
created you, but I'm not the person who created you. And so what he has for you
Mm.
may not be the
Yeah.
same thing that he has, that I had, that he had for me. So my
Mm-hmm.
mom and my dad, they used to take me ever since I was 2 to travel. And I loved it. I
Mm.
was the baby, I was the princess. Everyone knew I was my daddy's. He had 2 other kids, but they knew I was his favorite. And I knew it. But one day they took me to Jamaica. And of course, we
Mm-hmm.
stayed in the greatest part, the resorts, all that. And I would never forget, we had a maid. And at that time, it was the same maid throughout your stay. And we threw a pound cake in the trash. At that time, way back then, I was probably like 6. You could take food on the airplane.
Right.
So we had like a pound cake or some type of cake, and we threw it away. And ants had gotten on the cake. And the person who was assisting us in our room, she said, "Can I have it?" And I was like,
Mm.
"No." I was like, "We have more cake. You can eat cake over here." I'm
Right.
just this little girl. And so she was just so grateful in tears. And at that time, I fully didn't comprehend it. And so I asked my mom and my dad, they said, "Well, why would she want it out the trash can?" And I'm little, so,
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily ignorance. I just was very unaware because I didn't live like that. And so
Right.
my dad said, "Let's take her somewhere." And they took me into probably the roughest part of Montego Bay.
Oh
And they
wow.
said, "Do
Yeah.
you see where we're staying?" And I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Yes." And they said, "But are you seeing how they live?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And they said, "It's up to you how you want to live. You can live the way that
Mm.
we're living, or you can live like this. Everyone doesn't have the opportunity that you have. And your
Mm-hmm.
opportunity isn't always given, but you can create the life that you want." And with that,
Mm-hmm.
that's etched in my mind the whole
Right.
time of my entire life. It just stayed there. Because, of course, I'm like, I want to live how we are in this resort. I'm getting food and things of that nature. But I had to understand the nature of where that came from. And that's what they were big
Mm-hmm.
on. So I was never threatened, to get to your point of who my parents were, because they were very great in making me understand I have to become who I'm called to be.
Wow. Like, I mean, wow. Like, that is a lesson to take for forever, to use and hold on to. I don't care. Like you said, you got a choice. I preach that a lot with this podcast to people that I'm serving within my business as well, about your opportunities, about your choices, about the decisions that you make, about your intentionality. I mean, your parents, oh man, I say this almost every podcast. Shout out to good parents, great parents, to all parents who are just trying to do the best that they can do. But those nuggets of wisdom right there, I mean, today we're going to talk and explore about what you're doing and go into that. And the title for today's message is just building a business with great leadership. Your parents exhibited leadership. You didn't say it, but I see that, because great leaders give you keys to the future. They don't actually tell you how it's going to be done, but they give you great keys. And you got that. Like, wow. Like, I'm very impressed. Like, shout out to your parents, your mom and your dad. Like, to even be able to have that exposure. That's another thing we talk about when it comes to entrepreneurship, is the
Mhm,
exposure. You got exposure to things too. So while you're
mhm.
in Jamaica, you got to understand how many kids get to go to Jamaica, you know? I got kids in North Carolina don't even go to has never been to the beach. I'm from Fayetteville. The beach is an hour and a half away, and they never been.
And
So,
that was also pivotal for me in life, being in Rocky Mount. Rocky
mm-hmm,
Mount at the time, it's a very poor city. It has its greatness in it. There was just a lot of racial discrepancies,
mm,
inequalities, a lot of different things that we had to face. And gratefully, I didn't grow up in a struggle. I can't say
mm-hmm,
that I did. However, I wasn't naive to it.
right,
And even, saying the story to be able to go to Montego Bay at that young age, I was looked at as a very privileged child. And I quickly
mm,
got that judgment. And a lot of times people wouldn't get the time to take to know me. And I would say my peers in my age. And to be transparent, especially to be in that community, to be a Black family who were
mm-hmm,
able to do things of that nature, a lot of times I got the backlash of it. I got the jealousy, I got the enviness, I got, the attacks. And,
mm-hmm,
it was very hard, especially when my dad passed away. But people
mm-hmm,
didn't understand that, yes, we didn't struggle. We had food. I never had to worry about that or things of that nature. However, my family and my mom, she was very big on teaching me how to treat people, how to be
mm,
kind to people. I'll give my shirt off my back. It's not about the financial place that we're in. It's about who you are that holds the
mm-hmm,
most value, that speaks the most, and that goes further a lot of times than money, because the seeds that you
right,
implant are the same seeds that you can receive. So you either implant good or you choose to implant bad. Again, it's
mm,
all a choice. And so I got
right,
prejudged a lot. But the thing is, my family made me pick up books and read. So even
mm,
if I didn't travel or you didn't get the opportunity or have the resources to travel, pick up a book and want to learn more.
yeah, yeah,
And I would say, like, bullied a lot. Oh, you think you're this, you think you're that. And then I got to a point of strength for me. And I'm like, I have been able to do these things, right? However,
mm-hmm,
you could want to learn more. You could want to do this. And that was what I tried to advocate. Even at a young
mm-hmm,
age, I would try to advocate, because I can't apologize for the family I was born into. And I learned
exactly,
not to anymore,
right,
because people could have less resources than what I grew up in and could be the coldest. And yet I
mm-hmm,
have the resource that I am, and yet the most giving.
mm-hmm,
Because I understand that when I lost my father at a young age, that money couldn't bring him back.
right, right,
Time is a currency that values holds the highest.
mm,
A person's presence who has impacted you, that weighs more than what money or a lifestyle could ever give. And I lost a part of my heart. I couldn't get
mm-hmm,
him back. So I could
right,
give 2 cents about, I'm grateful for the life. I am grateful, but I'm not unaware or wasn't unaware that everyone didn't have this. But
mm-hmm,
yet people had two-parent households where I didn't, regardless of the
right,
reason.
right,
So when people would look and judge me, and those, you're just,
mm-hmm,
you're prissy, you're this, you have all this lifestyle, you don't understand what real pain is. So you didn't understand the pain that broke for me. That was my twin.
right,
I was born on his
right,
birthday. There was a
mm,
connection, and anyone who has a parent that they're close to or have lost
mm-hmm,
understand that I could give
mm-hmm,
2 cents about this house I was going into because my dad wasn't there, but
mm-hmm,
he instilled in me his heart, and that carried with me along the way. And as I got older, and people really started to see who I truly was, that narrative changed. But
right,
saying all that to say, just because you are from Fayetteville, just because you're from little old Rocky Mount, that doesn't mean your mind has to be stuck where you live, where you're from.
mm-hmm, Mm-hmm.
It starts in
I
our
agree.
mind,
Yep.
not our surroundings, not where we are. Like
Mm-hmm.
for the Christianity, when we say the battlefield starts in your mind, that's real. That's
It
not
is.
just spiritually. That's not just emotionally. That's physically too. It
Mm-hmm.
starts there. Don't let where you are keep you captive of your surroundings and your situations. Create opportunity.
All right. That's powerful in so many different ways because people will assume that they have to have been given certain things
Mhm.
to achieve that. Now, us as African Americans we're the prime, I would say, avatar to be in entrepreneurship because of the history of what's happened to African Americans. That pain, like you said, your mom went through, and other folks in the past, can be turned into purpose. But it
Mhm.
depends on your mindset. Do you want to remain in this way, like the Montego situation?
Mhm.
Do you want to go into poverty, or do you want results here? Now, what does it take? Because it's easy to do nothing to be in poverty. You don't have to do
Right.
anything to be there, but to be in this pathway of success, fulfillment, purpose, and a happy life, I would say it just takes the initiative to say, what is it that I want to do, and take it day by day. People think it's a grand scheme and it's luck. No,
Mhm.
it's hard work. You have to put work into yourself to get the results, even if it's just the glory of, man, I'm happy. It takes work. I got peace. That takes work. I want to build a successful business. That takes work. The friends that I have around me that are helping me propel that takes work, because you can have the wrong people that's around you as well. So, I mean, the pieces that I'm tying to with what you're saying, it starts with that foundation. You
Right.
know, the foundation that that they put into your life, applying these principles. Like when you don't have principles, you don't have any guidance, but you apply those principles, that brings about it allows you to dream. So, you talked about that a little bit, and I think about that in entrepreneurship. It's dreaming, but now you
Mhm.
can apply pressure to your dream, because a lot of people dream every day and they just think it's
Right.
going to happen. But with your principles, with your foundation, with studying, with learning, with reading books, now you can take that dream and make it reality,
Mhm.
because you can take easy steps to get it. So,
Yeah. Look, the dream is free. The dream is
yeah.
absolutely free. It's the application of that dream.
Hmm.
That's where that comes in.
The
It's
dream
that
is
labor
free.
that you put into it. It's the consistency. It's the effort.
Hmm.
It's you reaching out and getting comfortable being uncomfortable in a space so that you
Hmm.
can be comfortable for the rest of your life. Every the
People.
dream that you start off with is free, but it's how you do and you apply to get to that dream is what
Mhm.
makes you, and that's what creates space. And a lot of a lot of us in our community, and a lot of people in general, they're scared to fail. But
Yes.
failure is a part of entrepreneurship,
Hmm.
because if you don't fail, then you don't understand how to build that foundation where it's fail proof. You have to understand what failure looks
Mm.
like so you can know how to build your company, build whatever it is that you may have where it doesn't fail, because you went through what it takes to
Hmm.
create that space. And you can't be afraid of that. And I'll speak for it. I was afraid. I definitely was
Hmm.
afraid.
Where do you think that comes from? Why do you think people are just like scared? And if especially, let's take it from a perfect situation.
Mhm.
You've been in the foundation of God. We know what the Bible says about being afraid of anything. There is no fear. God didn't give us a spirit of fear. But still, when it's like, I think maybe it's other people, maybe it's other mindset. I mean, what do you think that is behind it? I got my assumption.
A lot of it, we're human. At the end
Hmm.
of the day, we're human. And we have to get out of the mindset that everything is easy. See, social
Hmm.
media, especially for our generation and this upcoming
Mm.
generation, has really played with people's minds where they think things are instant.
Right.
Yes, you can make plenty of money on TikTok. You absolutely can. But baby, you can't just get
Right.
up there on TikTok and think that life is just going to go for you. You still have to work and create that. You
Right.
still have to create that buzz. You still have to create that demand for it to go your way. And a lot of times, social media only shows one aspect of what entrepreneurship looks like. It doesn't show you the whole step-by-step process. So a lot of it is people want instantaneously in their entrepreneurship and
Right.
not want to actually put in the work. They want to just come up with this idea, come up with this plan, come up, and it just happens. That's one
Right.
thing. And a lot of things comes from the place of we're in fear and we're worried about what people think about us. We worry about how it'll look. We worry about if we fail, what our peers are going to say about us. But so what? So what? It doesn't matter. Everyone, Oprah, I can't remember the exact, but Oprah got turned down so many times before she started in her career. Now look, that woman is on top, but she got so many no's. But it took that one yes. Don't stop until you get that one yes. And a lot of it is the power to continue to go and to push and carry through.
I saw somebody talking about it was on Instagram. I'm a scroller, but I also learned. And she was talking about her resume. And people were like, wow, your resume is good. She said, but I wish I could show you my failures because that actually made me who I am. And that's why this looks good, because my resume for failure could wrap around a building 6 times. And that's what built the resilience and the growth and the strength and everything. That's true. That's facts. I think that is the part of the uncomfortable piece that people are worried about, what people think, getting failure and not feeling like you're going to have success. No one in this world who has created a successful business went through with success the entire time without failure. Started out.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I agree. People would tell me, you are so transparent. And I'm like, I am, because transparency is key. I'm not gonna. This is what real life looked like for me. This is really what happened to me. This is really what I went through in this area. And that is just as much as a story as it is that you see me flourishing. To be honest, I love talking about the struggles more than I love talking about the things that I'm flourishing in now.
Right.
Because if I can help somebody with what I've gone through, what has transpired in anything, then that speaks more volume to me to let them know you can do it, because that's encouraging. And once I got through this, yes, this is what life looks like for me. But I had to go through this part. This is the part. This is what you got to push through. And my mom has this old saying, it takes one to take you up and it takes one to take you down, baby. She'll always say
that's facts.
It's true. And so you have to tell people the truth, because then when you sell them false expectations and it doesn't work out in the way that they thought it would, then they don't have any tenacity to stay in it. See, when you tell them the truth about your struggle and the failures that you had, they're going to be like, okay, you know what? I'm prepared. She said she went through this. Mark went through this. They did this too. This is actually hope for me. That means I'm on the right track. And we have to remember that.
We do. We definitely have to remember that. And on that note, let's take a quick commercial break. This is good. This is getting too good.
Unlock the secret to outshining your competition in job interviews. Our course will teach you the mindset that turns job interviews into dream job offers. Ever wondered how some people effortlessly ace job interviews while you struggle to make an impression? Mark Thompson, founder and interview expert, has been in your shoes. After years of mastering the art of interviews, he has cracked the code. Now you can learn this code through our course at Career Transformation Academy. Our online course, The Blueprint to Landing Your Dream Job, is a game changer. It goes beyond traditional interview tips to provide you with a mindset makeover. We'll show you how to turn every job interview into a golden opportunity. What's truly valuable is the shift in mindset. We're not just preparing you for interviews. No, we're preparing you for a lifelong journey of career success. So are you ready to take this first step towards your dream job? Book a free session with an interview expert today at www.careertransformationacademy.com. Let's unlock your potential and set you on the path to success with the blueprint to landing your dream job. Don't wait, okay? Your dream career is just a click away. Click on the link in the description and we'll talk to you soon.
So, Porcelain, let's
Yes.
talk about leadership. You are and have a couple businesses here, and you're also a mother of two. And when I talk about leadership, I love talking to mothers because, you know, I know women are really a big piece of, you know, especially when you have your own business, but you also have to manage a family at the same time. You have a great set of leadership skills that you apply. What does leadership mean to you, and how do you apply some of your leadership principles to your businesses, to your job, but also with your kids?
So leadership to me is it's an example. That's what
Mm-hmm.
it is, especially for me as a mom. I'll start with the mom. Um, I have to lead by example with them. And that's not always pretty. So
Mm-hmm.
I am a single mom. I divorced about a few years ago. So I had to go through a transition in life, but also my kids had to go through a transition in life. You know, that
Mm-hmm.
life wasn't going to be the same for them. It wasn't going to look the same. When they woke up in the morning, that picture was going to be different.
Right.
And navigating your own emotions through a divorce and then having to navigate young kids' emotions is difficult because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you barely can just get up out the bed yourself. You're just
Right.
only existing. And
Mm-hmm.
yet you're trying to have kids that you're trying to help exist and navigate too.
Right.
So leadership for me, to be honest, started when I had my babies because I
Mm-hmm.
had to be an example of what life looks like for them
Mm-hmm.
and how to navigate through things, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
I had to become who I wanted them to hopefully be proud of and take the characters of what they saw in me and let that take them in the future. It wasn't just about right now. The same with my family, the same with how I saw things with my mom and my dad. The things that they showed me, I wanted to be that example for my kids. So leadership started when transition changed for us in our household.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like you being exactly who you are.
Right.
It looks like you're leading a village or yourself in the way that you want to walk through life.
Mm.
It looks like accountability.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like being honest and transparent, saying, you know what, I'm not okay. So
Right.
I need to solicit help or I need to figure out how I can get in a place to become okay. Leadership isn't, to me, just looking a certain type of way in your
Mm-hmm.
business or in your life. It's also holding accountability and looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I know things have to be different. I know that this may not be the most positive quality about me, and I need to address it and change it. I need to learn and do better in this area. I need to celebrate the strengths in the areas that I am strong in, and I need to walk
Mm-hmm.
in that daily in my life and choose to.
That is, when you talk about a leader saying, I need help, I think that is the most mature leader ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because that leader can recognize that if I don't get help, if I try to do this by myself, I will risk being burnt out and failing in areas that we should not if I hadn't asked for help. That is maturity, you know. And when you said that, I mean, I think that is a strength of a true leader as well. Like, yeah.
I am a very, very, and like you said, you know me, I'm a very independent woman. I will work 4 jobs. I will make it happen. I am a woman that will maximize the 24 hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
But in that transition, it did birth me into the leadership place that I am now, because it wasn't just me. I had these 2 young babies that depended on me. And I was at a place where I was like, I need help. I can't do this by myself. I need help. And honestly, they gave me the courage because, you know, I'll deal with me. Oh, but I love them. Like, that's my world.
Right.
I'm going to let them suffer because I'm so independent. So I do everything on my own.
Right.
Me needing help and wanting to make sure that they were covered birthed that place of growth. That's why I say turn purpose into pain. I mean, turn pain into purpose.
Pain and purpose, yeah.
Because I had to call my mom. Like, Mom, I need you. I need help. I can't do this by myself today. I'm not mentally okay. I'm emotionally can't get it together. I'm losing it. Help me, please. And it just became easier for me because it started providing a place of growth and healing for me, because I acknowledge that I need someone to help me. I acknowledge that a flaw. I didn't let pride take over. I didn't let people thinking, oh my God, Porcelain, she got divorced. What's she gonna do? You know, what all the things like we talked about a few minutes ago, the naysayers. Y'all say what you want to say, okay? It's me and my babies, and I need to make sure that they are okay. In order for them to be okay, I have to be okay. And so that birthed leadership for me. Because when you are in business, when your business takes off to become a multi-million-dollar business and whatever it is, you have to have people in place around it to help you. You have to learn to delegate.
Right.
You have to learn to show them and lead them and say, leadership isn't always being the man on charge. Leadership is also saying, hey, you know what? You're really good at this. I'm gonna give this to you.
Right.
I'm gonna trust you with this part of it.
Right. Right.
Because building a team. See, let's not do the crab in the barrel thing. Let's build a team. Let's build the people around you up to become you, to become COO, to become the CEO of your company, to become. That is what a leader is. You don't just, it's you and everyone else is peons. You take the people that you have around them, use their strengths and the places that they aren't strong in. Let's help build them up. So now they can branch off and they can become the leaders that they need to be in whatever world may suit them. Even within your company. So, yeah, even within your company. So that's what leadership looks like to me. Another thing for any woman, single mom, leadership for me is I am who I am in this office. I am who I am when I'm creating my businesses. But when I go pick up those kids, I learn to shut down and I become their mom. And I was not that. I was so trying to get my life back on track that they were missing out. They weren't getting me as a mom. They were getting Porcelain, trying to build, trying to recreate, trying to be business. Then they got mom. And one day my daughter said, Mom, but I just don't see you. And I'm like, but Bella, you're with me all the time. And she said, but no, you're here, but you're not here with me. And I was like, oh. And I was like, oh my gosh.
So let's talk about these amazing businesses. So you have Mills Consulting. I want to know more about that. Owner, Carolina Health Medical Transport. I remember you said something about that. You're CFO for that. And
Actually,
then
COO.
Salon
That was my
COO now.
chief
Okay.
operating
Okay. What is that?
officer. That was that
Okay.
was my mistype.
I got you.
Yeah.
COO. And you're owner, or you're co-owner, or you're the owner of Salon Suites?
Co-owner.
Co-owner.
Mhm.
Got you.
It's
Got you.
Studio
What are
19
those?
Salon Suites.
Got you. And you're in Durham.
Durham, North Carolina, yes. In
Got you. Blowing
RTP
up.
off Highway 55, 54, and I'll send you all the information. I don't want people coming just yet because we're still in the midst of construction.
But yeah.
But we should be wrapping that up in approximately 2 weeks. And
Well, let's talk about that. What are you doing? What's going on? What can I get done at the Salon Suites?
well, so at the Salon Suites, these will, hey, look, anyone out here, we want a nail tech. We want a tattoo
Mm.
artist. We want an esthetician. We want
Oh
all the
wow.
things. So they're going to be boutique suites. It's going to be 9 salon suites. And we are welcoming anyone in the beauty industry, estheticians, nail tech, tattoo artists, anyone.
Got you.
Yes,
Ooh,
that's how it is. So
that's
it's
good
not
money.
like just suites that we are bringing up, and we already
hmm
have them filled. There are suites that we will be trying to fill. And also,
Got
they will
you.
be luxury suites, which is a big thing now that with the climate changing, but there'll be luxury suites that will be affordable. And you still
hmm
get that high class, high end feel for yourself and for your clientele. We're not
Got
trying to break
you.
the bank on people. We don't want people to come in with overhead and feel like they can't breathe. Because in the beauty industry, it's a very hard industry. You know, our
Yeah.
generation, we're not
Yeah.
consistent. You know, we hop from one to the next. The longevity of clients aren't always there, and it can be unwavering experiences for independent
hmm
entrepreneurs in the beauty industry. So we're giving this high end, high class salon experience in our decor and our presentation, but we're making it
mm
affordable for them to be able to provide such a luxury experience for their clientele
hmm
without breaking the bank.
And this is the new wave I see. It's not being the beauty expert, but bringing the beauty experts to actually make money how they
Mhm.
need to make. So just like the barbershop setup, you rent a chair. But now I'm giving you a room with the amenities, the setup, the location. So man, oh, wow. So they're
Mhm.
coming into an experience that you provide that allows their clients to be like, oh, I like this place, which means their clientele will go up higher and you
Exactly.
all make more money.
And think about it, it
Wow.
goes back to the beginning of when I introduced, my mom and how her
Mm-hmm.
clients felt when they would come see her. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. Like we want you to gravitate. We want the owners, the suite owners that come in and make it easy for the clientele to gravitate into coming into their suites and wanting to see them and wanting to refer them. Like
Mm-hmm.
creating an atmosphere is sometimes better
Mm-hmm.
than creating the best marketing strategy that you could ever put. The SEO and finding all those things. It's how you make people
Right.
feel. It's when you walk
Right.
through that door and what does that bring to you. That is
Mm-hmm.
more long lasting than any Google ad you can have. I'm not saying Google isn't
Mm.
great. It is. It touches the masses. But long lasting, how you make a person feel and the atmosphere that you set will take your business further than any of
Mm-hmm.
the new age gimmicks that we have.
Man. It's a beautiful, beautiful concept, and yeah, that takes some guts to jump into, but it also again takes partnership because two people can do more than one person.
It
You know.
does. So it's and a lot of this is on me, and I can tell you the story of how this happened. But my business
hmm
partner in the consulting is Unique Adams.
hmm
So we created U and P Consulting. And I'll condense the story. A Canvas Rebel did an editorial piece, and there's a full story of how we connected. But she's a single mom, just like I am. Didn't know her from Adam. I was on Instagram, and an old classmate contacted me, and I thought it was weird because I just didn't have that much of a conversation with this classmate. We were in middle school. I
Right.
was only at that school for a year, so I didn't have many relationships from there.
Right.
So they were like, "Well, hey, I know you're in marketing, blah blah blah, and I have this suite that I'm over, and I would love if you would come help me fill the suites, get them filled, with your connections." And I was interested. I was like, "Okay, well, I'll check it out." Went to the suites, fell in love with it. That same person introduced me to Unique, and she has Unique Perceptions and Derms. She's an amazing hairstylist, and it made sense for me because she's in the hair industry. So she knows
Right.
people. I know marketing. Easy win. Went to go see the suites. They were beautiful. Fell in love instantly. Long story short, Unique and I met. We spoke about the vision and how we could get these suites filled. And we start trying to get information about it. Like, what's the overhead cost? What do we need? What's the square footage? Just the basic things to understand how to price the suites correctly and everything else we needed going forward. And things just start getting real hazy when we were asking these questions. Fast forward, come to find out this person did not own the suites, had no investment in the suites at all. I was like, what? So I found the owner. I said, we're going to turn this awkward situation into something beautiful, okay? Because at this point, we were tired, all right? She was going through her new transition in her life with raising her kids as a single mom. I was going through my transition and the ups and downs of that. And we were tired. We were really tired. And I said, I said, Porcelain, Porcelain, you will not go out in this manner. So I reached
Pain in the purpose.
I reached out to the owner and talked to him. He told me, he said that person was only to take pictures in the salon. That's it. He has no investment in it at all. Like, we were in this place like for weeks, like doing stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I said, look, I understand that you did not meet us in the greatest light, but Unique and I have this vision for your salon suites. And if you would just give us an opportunity, we absolutely would be honored. We will be humbled. And we know that we can get you where you want to go. He was hesitant, but we end up meeting his wife. And she said, okay. And we went from there. We filled those suites in less than 2 months. Wow. We generated $98,000 in revenue and in contracts for them, which was big. It was 12 suites, and we handled other things that they needed to be done. And that's where you and Peak Consulting birthed. We literally turned an opportunity into something amazing, because that was chaos. And we were like, we're tired. We're tired of the lack of integrity of people. We're tired of the lack of integrity in business. We are tired of trying to use, and look, men, I know men get used just as much. So please understand, I'm just speaking right now from a woman's point of view. It's nothing against the men, but as a woman, we were tired of being used.
Yes.
Because that literally was someone trying to scam someone else off the back of us, and that's not who we are. And preying on weak and vulnerable people at the time. And that's not what we do. So we took that opportunity, and we've never done this before, mind you. We never, ever had done this before. And Unique and I were new to each other. Like, we just met off this opportunity. It's not like this is my girl from back in the day. She's everything to me now. But that's not what it was. And And we made lemonade out of lemons real quick. And UMP was formed and created. We now have multiple businesses under us. Unica started Legacy Hair Institute. It's a beauty school that will be located in Durham. That is her baby, and I am assisting her on that. I have Carolina Health, Medical, and Transportation that I'm actually in partnership in, and Studio 19. So we flourished. We flourished because you're going to be given so many different opportunities, so much negativity, a lot of downfall. Understand that's life. That's the cycle of life. But how do you change that? What do you do? Because we could have just folded at that moment. We could have just walked away, didn't let anybody know what happened to us. Because, it's funny and embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like, we laugh at it at this point. But this happens. So what do we do?
Right.
Like, we're not going to, no. Okay, this happened. We got it. I'm going to show you better. And that's a choice. I'm going to make something out of this awkward moment. I'm going to make something out of something that was meant to be a negative. No. I'm going to create opportunity.
Yeah.
And
creating opportunity.
Create opportunity is the drive and is the key. And that's what we did. We were honest. We were transparent. We were like, we are so sorry. We had no clue, but this is what happened. However, would you take a chance on us? The worst thing a person can say to you is no. So just why not try?
Right.
You fail when you don't try.
Yeah.
Failure, even because you tried and it didn't work out, that's still a success. You failed because you didn't try. You didn't ask.
Right.
Ask for help in your personal life. Ask for help in business. You might get a lot of no's, but you will get one yes. What you and I talked about this. Dr. Seuss, and forgive me if I'm wrong, he was told no 37 times. He got that one yes. And look, Dr. Seuss is a living life. Dr. Seuss is a memory of all our childhood because he kept trying. He didn't stop. He kept trying. The worst someone can tell you all is no.
No.
But if you know this is for you, just wait for that yes. And that yes will overshadow any no you were ever told, any opposition, anytime you felt like you failed.
All right, my daughter loves to say, a negative plus a negative equals a positive.
It does. It does. And your daughter is very wise because that is factual. And that's what it is. And I enjoy telling the story now. I do because I laugh. I was like, honey, I can't, but I wasn't going to go out in that manner.
Right.
And I was like, we're not going to go out like this. Like, no, we're going to create something because we were tired. We were absolutely tired. We were tired physically, emotionally, financially. We don't have big kids. We have little kids. They're expensive. They come out the womb expensive. So things change for us.
Yes.
What our household looked like changed. The income, things changed. And even though we have successful careers prior to what we are doing now, it's still heavy for us. And
I should have changed it. I was going to say, I should have changed the title of this message to Building Several Businesses from Pain. Because y'all have definitely done that on both sides. I don't know unique story, but you telling it to me. It's like you two are twins in this situation. And now you're heading to the land of flourishing. And there's probably more businesses. There's probably more partnerships. There's a lot to take from it. It's beautiful.
They spoke so highly about us that we didn't even get an opportunity. Until this day, we didn't get an opportunity to market UMP Consulting. We have yet to market UMP Consulting. Our books are so filled that we have yet been able to do that. Because who we are, again, it goes back to what we talked about in the beginning. Who we are, how we represented ourselves, the character, the integrity. It took our names in places that we weren't even in. And people came to us. People came to us and grateful for it. Unique had started Legacy Hair Institute in another city. And she got all the way, and she has a beautiful story. She got all the way to doing her hair school, and the people decided to change the zoning on her because her hair school was getting ready to be a success in that city. And they didn't want a young woman, I'll say,
Right.
to have that opportunity as they saw. And it broke her. It hurt her because that is her legacy. Hair Institute comes from her mother. Her mother was a matriarch in Durham when it came to the hair care. And so it broke her. And someone was like, hey, let's start this again. She didn't even try. Like we made such a name. We did such a thing that people will start looking for us. And we have yet to be able to market, which we're grateful for. It's not a brag. It's just letting you know that all the pain that I personally went through was worth it. There were some things I wish I may not have experienced, but it was absolutely worth it because it birthed strength in me. It changed my outlook. It changed my view. It changed my strategy on how I see things. I see a problem, I see a solution, you know.
Right.
I don't just like, oh my God. And I was so weak at times. You know, people think again that I came from this wonderful family, which I did. I didn't have, you know, many issues or financial problems or whatnot. But that doesn't mean I didn't go through a tough time. I wasn't faced with challenges that didn't want to take me out. I went through those struggles. I went through those dark places. But those dark places, now I understand. I get it. Because how can I help somebody else if I couldn't help myself? I had to learn. There's a saying Unique and I talk about. We know how to fix people's businesses because we learn how to fix ourselves. We learn how to fix our families. We learn how to fix opposition and turn those things into opportunities. So we don't just say we can help brand your business, build your business, take care of your needs. We understand how to do it because we did it for ourselves first.
Right. You can sign me up next. I'll be your
I
next
got
client.
you.
There we go.
I'll charge you
what's crazy?
The family fee.
There we go. We get a family discount. I've said this on podcasts before, and I talk about the difference between, you know, in storms. You know, this is a storm and several storms you had before. When you get past it and you look back, you're like, oh, that was just a little hump because you elevate. So now the storm is down here. So you're looking at it that way. That's one way I look at it. The other thing is that, you know, you can be a cow or you could be a buffalo. Cows run away from storms. So when the storm comes, they're scattered. They're still in the storm because they don't know what to do. They're just trying to figure stuff out, and they stay in the storm longer. Buffaloes run towards the storm because they're facing the challenge right now, head on, getting through it. And then they're over with the storm faster because they saw that challenge. They saw what they needed to do, and they got through the end of it faster. So when you see a storm, storms are here to make you uncomfortable, to create the growth, so you can get to the other side, which is always going to be some sunshine. Just head towards it. The storms are here to help you grow and to also put you in position for your next. And I'd say that with any trial and tribulation that I've gone through, had I not gone through what I went through, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
Absolutely.
So embrace your storms is what I like to tell people. Embrace it. Yeah.
Full head on, and that was said seamlessly. Embrace it.
Yeah.
I challenge it now because the storms are temporary. And I have to ask God, okay, what is it that you need for me to get out of this season? Because I don't want to take this test again. I don't want to. So what do you need me to do? What do you need? Because before I used to keep taking tests over and over again. And my mom said, when are you going to learn your lesson? And I was like, mind your business, Mom.
Ain't it crazy when
Mom,
you get...
don't come giving me the wisdom. But she did. She said, Porcelain, when are you going to learn your lesson? And I said, you know what? You know, I didn't let her give her the credit on the phone. But, you know, when I hung up the phone, I said, oh, she was right. When am I going to learn this lesson? God, let's have this talk. So now I understand. Like, you go through things. Sometimes you have to understand, well, all the time, figure out what the reason is. Is there a
Mm-hmm.
lesson of good? Is there something I need to get rid of? Or what is the purpose of it? Because there's a purpose in it.
Right.
And really
Right.
sit with it. Really sit with it. Don't run from it. Sit with it. Like you said, embrace it and try to understand that. And you will get
Mm-hmm.
through this storm quicker than you did if you ran from it like the cows running all the way around not knowing. Just go ahead and say, you know
Mm-hmm.
what, God, I'm gonna trust you.
Right.
Help me figure it out. Just show me, use
Right.
me. I'm gonna be a vessel. Just keep me at a place, because you can have peace in the midst of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand that. I didn't understand
Oh
it.
yeah.
But my life
Yeah.
was torn upside down. I was like, I can't do this. I can't. This is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much peace in the midst of chaos, and it is beautiful. And when you
When you
get to
get to
that
that
place,
level,
when you get to that place,
yes,
nothing can bother you. Like, you're like,
not
oh, okay, I
nothing bothers.
understand. That's okay. I'm good. And that's why I tell people I love New York. They don't understand
Mm-hmm.
it. I love New York. It's like a second home. It's so much chaos. It's so much busyness. It's traffic. It's all these people. It's just so
Mm-hmm.
much the noise. And I just stand on 42nd Street, and I'm just at peace.
Mm.
Because these people, because if you pay attention, they're going somewhere. There's a purpose
Yeah.
of what they're doing. Like, and
Right.
it's all these people in one place. It's a stock, a person on Wall Street. It's this business owner. It's like they're
Mm-hmm.
all going and hustling and not letting the trials and tribulations of what New York can have or what people
Yeah.
see stop them. They're moving. And it's
Mm-hmm.
such a beautiful thing to see. Like, I go get my coffee and I'm just there. It's so much peace. And that's what God said, because you can exist in the middle of chaos and have perfect peace, baby.
Yeah.
And I was in New
Yeah.
York and I just said, oh my gosh, I can. And I just
Mm-hmm.
embraced it.
That takes a lot, right? Well, when I say it takes a lot, I'm saying it from the space of that you are conditioned and positioned. Because again, if you serve a higher power, I talk about that a lot on this show, then there is God's will. And he's positioning to what you want to do. Even though you have your dreams, if it's in his will, he'll open those doors for you. Now, for someone who is aiming to get there, it's hard for people to really conceptualize having peace during a storm, having peace in the middle of chaos. It goes back to what you talked about earlier, mindset. The principles to guiding your mindset, the foundation to guiding your mindset, understanding there is a bigger picture than what I'm dealing with right now that I cannot control. If you can understand what you can control and understand what you can control, then you will live life in a more peaceful situation. You will not have anxiety and anxiousness about these things. Like, we're gonna go biblical. My pastor said this yesterday, and it was amazing. He said, "Your anxiousness could be an indication that your prayer life is anemic." And I said, "Wow."
What a word.
Oh, wow.
Preach,
So
pastor.
think about that in your connection to, even if it's a connection with your inner personal self, spiritually, there's a connection that you must have. And then praying or affirmations, whatever it is that keeps yourself in a high vibration, a higher level, all of that makes sense to the fact that you will never have anxiety. You will have peace because those things don't bother you. I can't let these small things affect my entire mind, because our mind is the thing that destroys us. Our own mindset is what destroys us and takes us over the top.
The battle starts in your mind.
Exactly. When he said that yesterday, I was like, wow. So when people were like, man, I'm just worried, I got anxiety. And I was like, yeah, you need some iron. You need some iron in your prayer life.
And it's right. Because see, a
That,
lot of people, and I'm those, when I say people, I was one of those people.
yeah,
I used to
me
think
too.
God was punishing me. Like, why are you punishing me? Like, what did I
Mm,
do? I mean, I'm not perfect, but Lord, what did I do for all of this? And that's
right.
not God. But sometimes God is like, but I'm trying to get your attention. And see, you chose to
Yes.
miss all the flags I gave you
Mm,
before. So since you like to be my little hard-headed daughter, I had to weigh it down on you so you can stop.
yeah.
Because the greatness that I have for you is calling for something bigger. And I need you to see that. I need you to understand it. I just told my
Hmm.
friend, I said, sometimes the things you go through, it's not for you. It's for you to help other
Yep.
people.
Yep.
That's
Your
what, don't let
assignment.
anyone shame you for your struggle. Don't let anyone shame you for your mistakes or your past because it's the very
Hmm.
thing that can save someone's life. It may not be
Right.
a massive, like a pastor who's preaching to millions or thousands all the time. It may just be you can save one life.
Hmm.
It's,
Yep.
it's not always about us. And
Yeah.
don't let anyone shame you on that. But God is like, I'm not punishing you, but I need you to listen. I have something for you,
Hmm.
and I can't delay it because this person
Right.
over here needs you. And she can't
Right.
get you until you get yourself. So listen to me. Stop. I'm getting your
Hmm.
attention. Because, like your pastor said, your prayer life right now is anemic and it needs some iron
Hmm. Yeah.
and it needs your
Yep.
attention.
Your assignments and your purpose. People are out here, like you said, if I don't work on being my best self, to use my gifts are not for me. My gifts are other folks out there. So even in the marketplace, in my entrepreneurship, I'm trying to elevate people. In my personal life, I'm trying to elevate people. In my daughter, I'm trying to elevate people. I'm trying to elevate her.
Mhm.
And that's where my gifts are being used. That's what we're on this earth for, not for ourselves, to elevate everybody else. This is, look at this. We didn't have a whole Bible study. Turn your
You know, I like
Bibles
a good
to
old Bible study now, so anytime. However, that's honest, that's the birth of GoHo, the podcast. So
Yes,
GoHo
I
stands
was
for
already going in that. Yes.
Get Out Here and Operate. Jerry Brown is the
Mm.
founder. He and I went to North Carolina Central University together. And Jerry,
Eagles.
Eagles. Oh, look, let me tell you, Jerry, I bothered Jerry so much all my 4 years. I was just like this
Mm.
little annoying sister. But we were really, really great friends. I would keep him out of trouble. Like Jerry, no, like I've always acted like somebody's mom. I'm like, nope. He
Hmm.
would play football. You shouldn't go to that party. You have to study. You have to do like this was me. And he was like,
Mm.
what in the world? But till this
Right.
day, um, he has spoken into my life. He was one of the very few people that knew what I was going through at the time of my marriage in the dark place that I was in. And him and his wife covered me. They covered me,
Mm.
they prayed for me, they loved on me, they checked on me. Um, and he said, Porcelain, sis. He calls me sis. He's like, sis,
Hmm.
I need you to speak. I need you to tell your story. And I said, well, I'm not ready.
Hmm.
And at that time, I wasn't. Look, just
Right.
putting on a pair of pants was a great day
Right. Right.
for
Right.
me. And I just was like, I'm not ready. I'm not there. And
Hmm.
probably like a year and a few months later, he said, Porcelain, is time. And I said, Jerry, it is. I'm fine. Because honestly, people were already drawing themselves to me just randomly in the grocery store or whatever. I was just talking to
Hmm.
people, you know, just speaking life into them, had no clue, just off a hello, just connecting with people that were going through things. And it was just so easy for me to be like, hey,
Mm.
no, it's okay. Like, and share my story. And it uplifted them. And without
Right.
intention on me or no understanding what I was walking into. And so I said, Jerry, that's fine. And so it's Jerry, it's I, and it's his cousin, Damon. And
Hmm.
Jerry created Get Out Here and Operate. It's his brand. And
Mm.
he mentors young men. He's a public speaker. a motivational speaker, and he just wanted to have a platform where we can just really talk about truth. Jerry used to be
Right.
homeless, and he wanted to tell his story, how he came from how he was homeless to who he is now.
Right.
And a lot of times we see things on Instagram and on social media, and podcasts are coming up. And
Right.
I'm not knocking anyone that has a podcast. Like, get your truth out. However,
Right.
there's very few that provides real transparency. But we talk about toxic relationships, and we have the cute phrases on
Right.
what looks like to catch people's attention. But are we telling the truth of what that looks like, where that came from,
Right.
what really happened? Like, people need to understand that. Or the story of like Jerry from being homeless and how that looked for him as a man, and those different aspects. And we just want to honestly have a place. Safety is a big word for me, a place of safety. See, when my father died, safety looked very different for me. I had a loving
Right.
mom. I had a mom that loved me, and she provided me, she protected me. But at the end of the day, that was my man. That was my twin.
Right.
Like, I was
Right. Right.
him and
Right.
he was me. And
Right.
it just looked different for me. And it wasn't something anyone could feel until I really could go to God and be like, help me, help me, God, with this.
Right.
And I safety looks different for everyone, but it's just a place of safety where you can hear us talk about what we really went through. I meant like the ins and outs and the in-depthness of it. And you can resonate with it, where you can like, okay, I can move through this situation. I can be in a better space. I can be in a healing space. You can reach out to me and say,
Right.
Porcelain, can you help me? Can you talk to me? Like, can you help me get to this place, because I'm struggling and I don't know how and I want to, but it's not happening and I don't know what to do. I love it. I love it.
Right.
Everything that I do, I don't want any accolades for it. If I can help someone get to a better place, that is a job well done for me. That's what I live for. That's what
Amen.
I love, because I saw my mom help people. She said, forget this sale, forget this $5,000 sale. She said, this person is hurting. Let me help my sister. Let me
Right.
help her family. Let me listen. Whatever that help look like, that's what's fulfilling, because everything else will come after that. You know, what is our legacy in life? Yes, we want to live a legacy and leave one for our kids of wealth and financial structure. But I want to leave a legacy of character that cannot be bought. It's something that you either have or you don't, and that starts in your household. Because you being a
You
person that is whole, that is what's honorable. I don't care what everyone
right.
else out here is doing in the world. So, Go Hold is that place to real topics, real life experiences. Like, we're going to welcome people. What do you want to be spoken about? Like, what is a topic? What is your need? Where you can get an answer, and your business isn't put out on a platform. No one knows that you're struggling in this, but you want a platform where it's talked about, because you're not hearing it anywhere and you're looking for.
Right. Right.
We don't want you just to look at us and follow us. We want you to interact with us. Email us,
Right.
talk to
Community.
us, tell us what you need. How can we help you? But this is our way of going into the community and say, hey, if you don't feel like you have help anywhere else, you can have help here. Because Jerry and I helped each other.
Right.
He
This is
protected me in school. I was bullied. You know, I
in
wasn't
Central.
at Central. Yes, it was, you know, the typical, you know, I
Yeah.
didn't, the typical things
I
that
went
go.
to the University of Richmond. I don't know about you Negroes.
University of Richmond. Then, I mean, Central was it was an amazing stepping stone for me, and I give all the love and honor to it. But I have stories of what I went through there. And Jerry was like, nah, you're not gonna mess with my sister like this, because Jerry is the type of person who sees you for who you
Mm-hmm.
are. You know? I mean, he's
Mm-hmm.
always been like that. But that's because he went through phases of his life. He loved the way he wanted to receive love back in times
Mm-hmm.
when he was going through things. I love the way that I saw love. So we bring
Mm-hmm.
that together, and we just have this platform for people to receive that from us, or to be strengthened, encouraged, mentored,
Right.
whatever it is. So that's the same things that you are doing in your path is similar to where GoHo and how the creation
Mm-hmm.
of that.
That's
So,
That's a, I really, folks, shout out to GoHo, GOHO podcast coming out soon. You guys tune in and watch that. I know we run out of time, so you got to get ready to go to another meeting. We might have to do a part 2 because you dropped so many nuggets. I'm sitting here like, I got notes. I'm about to put all this together and create my own speech or something, because you dropped a lot. You need to do some motivational speech, and I'm telling you for real, that might be your other avenue that you have on there. But what I want to tell you right now, and one thing, my last question,
mhm.
so I can get you out of here, is what advice? Let's talk about now. This is a good one because I'll do both. Middle school, high school, Porcelain. What advice would you give her if you could go back in the past and talk to her? What would you tell her today? What advice would you give her?
Walk in her truth. I would tell her
Mm,
to walk in her truth. My father, when he left, a big part of my confidence went with that. A big part of who
mm,
I was went with that. Now, mind you, my mom spoke life into me every day. She didn't play that, okay? Now, Marguerite Perkins does
mm-hmm.
not play about her baby. But again, it was just an absence that she couldn't feel. And it changed me, and I
Mm-hmm.
was growing up in the midst of this. Not We didn't have the tools. Parents didn't have the tools that they have now to help with their kids in going through a
Right.
death. My mom was trying to get through it herself, and she did an amazing job. But there was a part of me that I was just so lost and confused, but didn't even understand how to articulate it.
Mm,
And um, I come from a family, that does very well in a small town. So I
mm-hmm.
wasn't Black enough in the Black communities, and
Mm,
in the Caucasian community, they did had an issue with the wealth and me being a Black
right.
woman. So I went through different
Mm,
transitions, and I didn't have a place. I didn't understand how to create a place for myself, because
mm-hmm.
I wanted to have a peer group. I did, but I wasn't
Right.
good enough over here, and I wasn't good enough over there. And to be honest with you, it was their issues, it wasn't mine. But I
Exactly.
didn't understand that. And it's hard to. So I would tell me, my younger self, to walk in your truth and love it, live it, be
Mm-hmm.
okay with it, even if you're standing on your own.
Mm.
Because the one that people laugh at the most likely becomes the one that people need the most. You don't have to do
Wow.
anything extra but be yourself.
Man, you blowing this podcast up. It's on fire. You keep dropping this. I got 3 pages of notes. Like, stop. We got to do part 2. Save it for when I come on your podcast or something. Good gracious, man. This is gorgeous. This is awesome. You did I got legacy of character. Walk in your truth. Let me go back. No, I'm not even gonna read all this stuff out here. But Porcelain, how can people get in contact with you? How can people reach out to you if they want to, find you on Facebook, Instagram, or even contact your business for business support?
Yes, so I do have Facebook. It's Porcelain Mills.
Mm-hmm.
I am on Instagram. It is b.jador LLC. So it's b.jadore LLC. You
Mm-hmm.
can reach me when it comes to Carolina Health Medical Transportation at info@carolinahealthmt.com. And I'll send all
Mm-hmm.
that information to you. And yeah, that's how you can get in contact with me. And I'm very approachable If there's anything that you need, if there's any way to help, if there's any questions, like
Mm-hmm.
I welcome you reaching out to me. I do have an assistant now, which is different for me.
You need that.
However, I am very hands-on. So if you
Mhm.
reach out to me, you will be reaching out to me. That's still I keep private. Besides the info at carolinahealthmt.com, she has access to that. But if there's anything personal that you may need or something in privacy, please reach out to me in those other platforms. And I
Mhm.
will be the one responding to you and we can connect and go from there. So that's how.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, thank you so much. In closing, I must always repeat to folks, hey, this is Career Transformation Academy. We're trying to show people how to get jobs, but also we're actually showing people about the power of entrepreneurship. So, if you want more nuggets, tips, tricks, podcasts, I'm dropping stuff all the time on all of our platforms. You can reach us on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn at careertransformationacademy.com. And if you go to TikTok, we are the Blueprint by CTA. So every platform is there. But if you're ready to take your career to the next level and get to the bag, we have the blueprints to landing your dream job on www.careertransformationacademy.com. You can get a free consultation. Myself or someone on my team will be talking to you about your future, trying to design a plan for your future, and let's get you a better job. That's what we're here for. We do it in all types of ways and facets, whatever you want to call it. But we're here to help you out. P, Porcelain, Miss Mills, Perkins, everything we can. I appreciate you so much. This was powerful. Like, we might have to do a part 2. I had to slow us down. I know we had some technical hiccups, but at the same time, yeah, you dropped some nuggets on here, child, for real.
Well, thank you. I think it's beautiful in what you are doing. I applaud it.
Mhm.
I admire it. It's going to go far. And I just appreciate that
Mhm.
you valued me enough just to even come up here on this platform. It is blessed and it's inspirational. So thank you. I am big on giving people their flowers in the present. So thank
Yes,
you so
yes.
much. And I am down for a part 2. I am.
We should. We're gonna have to find some other subjects we can attack and talk about because this got heartfelt. I know some things you want to jump into. I said, let me pull out the water real quick. Let me reel you back in before we go there. But no,
Yes.
awesome, amazing. Again, I thank you. Everybody out there, keep watching. But guess what, y'all? We're out.
Bye.
Peace.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my God. Oh my God. So high up. I'm so full. Deja vu. I've been here before. Say come back down to